Hey everybody, it's Gemma, Manifestation Coach, and I wanted to chat with you guys today about manifesting from a non-dual perspective. If you saw my last video, it's about the missing link in your manifestations, and I'm talking about how if you are so identified with your ego, individual, personal self, your persona, who you think you are, that human self, if that's all you think you are, manifestation could be more of a challenge for you because you're not really seeing the full picture of how things are manifesting from you. So everything is manifesting from your energetic field, from your consciousness. When you can identify as pure consciousness, like if you think you are pure consciousness experiencing this mind body, and everything that you manifest is coming from your perspective. It's coming from your state of consciousness, right? How you're perceiving your reality is how things are manifesting. And your true self, your eternal self, right? We all know this physical form will one day drop off of you like a garment. Something Nisargadatta Maharaj says. You will drop the body like a jacket. It's just gonna fall off of you, right? So if this isn't all that you are, and what you truly are is pure consciousness, is spirit, and that's your eternal self, that's your real self. Like a lot of people call it your true nature. If that's your true nature, meaning you can't kill it, it will never die. It's the eternal part of you. It was never born, it will never die. You're manifesting from this eternal place all the time, and you don't even realize it because you're so identified with being a human and the physical reality. So a lot of people in the world place a lot of their attention on the physical reality. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just how can we expand our consciousness to have a higher level of intelligence? I'm telling you, when I learned about all of this and I had my spiritual awakenings over the last like 12 years since 2009. How many years has that been now? It's a lot. Since 2009 was my first spiritual awakening in a yoga class where the physical world disappeared. There was nothing. There was no me, no mind. It was nothingness. And the mind was the first thing to come back, right? From that pure empty, it was aware, it was pure consciousness, I assume. So in that direct experience of just being the pure consciousness and not being the form, I realized the first thing from pure consciousness that I, as consciousness, was aware of was my thought. So my thoughts oriented themselves to this physical reality. And that's like always been my theme in life, mind over matter. Even before, in my past life as a swimmer, I was a swimmer before I was a manifestation coach. Actually, it went swimming, then like yogini, then psychology, Buddhist psychology at Naropa University, and then grad school for Jungian psychology for marriage and family therapy. And then I became a coach. Then I was like, okay, I love therapy, I love doing this work, but I want to help people grow spiritually. I want to do more positive psychology. How can I do that? And then I ended up getting a like on Instagram from a life coach, and I was like, whoa, this exists? Okay, this is actually what I need to be doing. So I started my life coaching business and focused on manifestation. So everything I've always done in my life has been mind over matter, probably since I was born, because I was born into a family of athletes and my parents were swim coaches. So they're all about, mind over matter and like push through the pain of the body to get the results, which sometimes we need to do a manifestation, but I am not for like adding trauma, more trauma into our life experience. Anyways, that's a whole nother subject. Okay, so where was I? I wanted to talk about manifesting from this non-dual perspective, mind over matter. Why is that real? Because who we really are is the formless. And a lot of people have trouble having faith in the unseen, right? Why is it hard to have faith in the unseen? Because our senses, the eyes, like everything is focused on the physicality. Your senses are focused on your physical reality. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just we need to bring more balance. And that's what yoga is for. There's certain practices in yoga where you drop the senses, like you close your eyes, close your ears, so you can't hear anything, you can't see anything. And like you can spend time there and really see that there is a whole nother world beyond your senses. And it's still here even when you're fully living in the world of sense perception. It's still here. It's still manifesting itself. And it is actually the source of all physical manifestation. And the physical world also feeds itself back into the non-physical world, right? They're like yin and yang. They're constantly working together. And you are both of them as well. You are that formless space. You're the formless and the form. And your formless self and your formed self, the human, right? So you could also say your spiritual self, your human self. But I like formless because that was my direct experience in my spiritual awakening of contact with the formless, and there was no more form. The world of form was not there. And it was like a knowing. Like I don't even know how the knowing, where the knowing came from, right? Infinite intelligence. There was a knowing that is non-physical of like, this world of form is like dust. It's like so impermanent compared to what we truly are deep down as the formless. So coming back, let's come back up for some air. When manifesting in your physical life, right, you want to incorporate your formless self. In any manifestation that you have, this part of you is pure consciousness. And the more you can identify with it, like let's say 50-50, yin and yang, half and half. You're half formless, half form. It's kind of like when you sleep, right? Sleeping, waking life. Pretty much half and half. We sleep less, but still, you know what I'm saying. It's like you're both. You're the formless and you're the form. So what's going on in your formless reality, you know? And that is first just pure consciousness. That is you. You are that. You are that. Nisargadatta Maharaj, read that book. You are that. You are that formless consciousness. Okay? Now, your thoughts are appearing on the screen of that formless consciousness, right? Thoughts. Then you have emotion. You have the sensation of the body. What else is there in your formless reality? You imagine things, right? Vision, maybe you see visions, memories, right? So this is real, happening, real part of your life experience every single day. Now, take a notice, how often are you really looking at that, right? Because the world of the senses is so strong, and what you see with your eyes is so addicting in a positive way. Like, it's a beautiful world, right? The world of sense will pull you in because it is more like what we focus on as a group. So you're gonna have to put the group on hold for a second and go into yourself, right? Go inward and connect with the formless part of you and the formless reality, where first pure consciousness, just pure consciousness, nothing, no one, you are nothing and you are no one. Okay? Now you're having some thought. There's a thought sensation. Then you're having feeling. Then you're having ideas. Then you're having whole paradigms, like groups of thought that define your current reality, like how you think your current reality is, right? That's appearing from your pure consciousness. And they're like these assumptions, right? That you just feel your reality is this way, okay? And you're, as pure consciousness, projecting all this out from your true nature, from who you really are. You're projecting your reality. It's on the screen of your consciousness. And any of it, it's all malleable. Any of the thought, the group of thoughts, the group of feelings attached to the thoughts, right? Cognitive behavioral therapy stuff, CBT. Like, and you can mix it all up in a way that serves your goals. And that's what I'm talking about. That's what manifestation is. Okay? And you can reorganize your mental activity and your emotional activity in the body, like the somatic felt sense of your reality. That's a huge part of manifestation. Your somatic sense of what is real for you, you know? Because a lot of us keep manifesting the same like felt reality based off of our past, based off of our family system energy, you know, all that, like who we have identified as for years through habit, right? If you ask yourself, what have I been identifying as with money my whole life, right? I've been identifying as someone who has this amount of money, and that's normal for me, and that's just the way it usually is. So when you try to expand that and you want to grow who you are, you want to grow your identity with money, you're going to have to create a whole new habit. It's a whole new identity. And identity is built through new habits. But you can get there faster if you understand how to first clear your space, clear yourself by removing yourself from your current reality, your sense perception of your current reality, and just going into your pure consciousness. And that's why I do yoga all the time. I do yoga just about every day. Some days I go to 3 classes in a row. Thank God for my gym, because they have yoga classes, like usually multiple yoga classes every single day. So like some days I go to 3 classes in a row. Like they'll have a heated flow class, then they'll have a slower moving class, and then they'll have a restorative class, which is perfect. That's like yin yoga, you know, where you just relax and feel into the body. So that is huge for my manifestation process. Like if I need to really release a reality, I'll go to yoga and let my body release that. And it's like being released from my consciousness, right? So manifesting from a non-dual perspective is just about recognizing your true nature as pure consciousness. You're not separate from it, pure consciousness, right? You could not separate yourself from it. You can't. It's impossible. Like the energy that is animating your body and making you breathe right now, like you can never be separate from it. But you can be separate from your body. A lot of people have had out-of-body experiences. I've had a few of those as well. So go off of your own direct experience, right? Don't take my word for it. Have your own direct experience of your consciousness in your body, okay? This isn't about just taking what I'm saying and believing it as truth for you. It's about you having your own direct experience with your mind, your body, your consciousness, and connecting with the source of where all your thoughts are coming from in the first place. Connecting with the source of where all your manifestations are being created. Like everything is being created in you, okay? And that's the last thing I wanted to talk about. Your goal you know, the thing that you really want to manifest, it's not separate from you right now. That desire that you have, if you can think about it right now, you can imagine it right now, just because it's not in your current 3D physical reality, like you can't pick up on it with your senses yet, you know? I just love that. It's like so yogi. Like you can't pick up on the manifestation with your senses yet. It's okay. You know, that doesn't mean it doesn't exist in your mind. And remember, from what I have from my direct experience of my spiritual awakening, when there was nothing, there was just pure awareness, pure consciousness, spirit, whatever that is, the formless. The first thing I was aware of was a thought, a mental activity. And then I reoriented myself back into my body in the physical room that I was in doing yoga. It was an Ashtanga yoga class, by the way. Ashtanga is really good at silencing the mind. Okay, so your manifestation is not separate from you. You know, anything you desire to create, it's not separate from you right here, right now. Like, be present with it. Just because it's a thought right now, it's just an idea right now, and it's a desire right now, don't make that mean something negative. Like, just because your senses are not picking up on it yet doesn't mean it's negative or it's bad or it's slow and coming. That doesn't even mean it's slow. You know, just because you don't see it in this moment doesn't mean you're not going to see it in the next moment. You never know how instant we can create this stuff. So that's such a good thing to just like wake up to, you know? And I wake up to this constantly. Like, I have to remind myself of this constantly, because the world of Maya, right? The world of senses, the physical world is so, it just draws you in. If you don't have that practice of coming back to, like, meditating is good for that, yoga is good for that, any kind of spiritual practice to bring you back to the formless you. So that whole, you know, thinking about that whole aspect of manifestation where it's just an idea right now and it's just a desire right now, like, you can get excited about that, you know, and you can feel abundant about that. Just because your senses aren't picking up on it yet doesn't mean it's not on its way. Does not mean anything negative about it at all, right? So that's really, really enlightening, because when you can catch yourself when you do that, when you make that assumption that, oh, if I'm not seeing it with my eyes yet, it's not like happening, you'll start to become aware of what's actually blocking the manifestation, which is just groups of thought that kind of go under the radar because you are so pulled into the sense world that you are not seeing like these subconscious thoughts that are actually like preventing the manifestation, okay? This stuff is so deep, and it's like there's no end to how much we can learn and practice manifestation. It's an ongoing exploration, an ongoing process of just like whatever the heck we're doing here. Like, how did we get here in the first place, you know? So, like, coming back to that humor and like anything you want to manifest, it can appear out of thin air, because thin air is just your pure consciousness where everything comes from anyway, you know? Never make it a big deal just because you haven't seen it happen yet, or you can't see it right now. Like, that is not a valid excuse as to why you're not going to manifest it. It's just not valid, you know? And you can prove that to yourself. Like, how many times have you found something in this world that you didn't know existed, right? Maybe when you went traveling, you did not know that people were doing that, or that this kind of food existed. Like, there's so much we don't know And like, that is so key, right? Remembering that just because you don't see your manifestation yet does not give you a valid excuse that it's not going to manifest. Okay? All right, guys, this was fun talking about this. I love to talk about this stuff. And if you want me to look at your current reality, right? If you want me to help you apply this to your spiritual business, like now we're talking, right? How do you really apply the truth of how things come into form to your business? Like that's next level, right? That's something I've been working on the last few years. Really, how do I apply everything I know about manifestation to my business? And it is very enlightening. This process is never ending. So there are no limitations except the ones we think that exist, right? That's all there is, you know. But when we are stuck thinking that our reality is a certain way, right? From pure consciousness, you think your business is a certain way right now. That is you putting that on the screen of your consciousness. Like you think that's real. What if that's not real anymore? What if what you want is real? What if the success you want is real, right? And you cannot, because now that I've told you, just because you can't see it yet, just because your senses aren't picking up on it is not an excuse. What if the success you want in your life, in your business, is happening now? What if it is happening now? Can you let yourself allow that in? And can you let the old reality disappear? Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all your likes and comments.